What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, August 13th to all of you. Friday the 13th. Happy Friday 13th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. I'm coming off a very disappointing day. The under in the Field of Dreams game was atrocious. Batting practice, the balls were flying out. There was a huge push on the over and a mistake, a big mistake. And now I'm no longer up double-digit units on the season. Angry. What is keeping me from being too angry is the success of Jose Bouquet, the producer on the ones and twos. His back was against the wall. Beginning of the week, he was down 5+ units. He had 12 bets to make that up. 12 bets to make that up. He had to go at a minimum 9-3, and he started out 3-0 to allow himself to shave his mustache on this show and not be fired. Fired if he's not in the black. God, I was angry yesterday. 1-4, lose the Orioles first 5 -0.5, lose the Field of Dreams first 5 under 5, full game under 9.5. Cash the Phillies first 5. That was a nice look. And then Toronto, LA first 5 under 4.5 was a loser. 1-4. Disappointing. Puts me at 248 and 213, 53.8% plus 9 units. Even. ROI plus 1.95%, average line minus 111. I've made 2 bets already to start the day. There's a couple more that I almost pulled the trigger on, but I waited. I waited because I wanted to talk it out with the cappers in the chat. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. Let's get to work. There's Brandon Lugo in the house. Says, let's get this weekend started with cash. Great to see you, Brandon. OG Lowbagger, Brandon Lugo. Real Deal Prime, ready to get to work, LeBlanc. Oh, Hall of Fame mentality. Fat win. Australian Racing Day, Catherine race 5 to 2 U long. Awesome odds at plus 260, $3.60. Let's copy and paste that from Fap win and bet that. No Fap win. Copy and paste that. There we go. Thank you, Fap win. Ali, St. Louis is canceled. I've not heard any of that, Ali. Nothing is canceled. There's no games. Everything looks good, at least as far as I know. But we will talk about all this moving forward here. Michael Evelina, Nut Flush Allen. There is our guy, Nilo. Dom says, been patiently waiting for this show. Thank you for your patience, my friend. But we did start on time. Tron Hopkins, what up, family? He says, our guy, Tron Hopkins, give me my props. Play today, Heat minus 3.5. Those of you, I'm sure a lot of you have noticed, those of you who haven't, Tron Hopkins is eating in the Summer League and handing out winners. So there we go. And look at this, AK Mr. Know-It-All. I didn't realize the Big Daddy Boom was Mr. Know-It-All. It's Leo, right? It says, good fortune to all in today's game. YouTube chat jail was tough, but glad to be back. Nice. Okay, we got Leo back, right? Beautiful. Sunny Springs ready to go. JB said, great Field of Dreams game. Probably one of the best games I've seen in a long time. It was a spectacular game, but watching angrily doesn't help. Paco Healy, I'm on the over 8.5 in the Padres-Arizona game. Snell and Mad Bum going back at it after 2 spectacular performances 5 days ago. I'm very curious to hear what you think of that. Paco Healy, our resident Padres expert. Tyler Duda says, don't worry, I made it to another one. Okay, good. Great to have you. Alex Hill, Mike M, Max Swelly says, pull the trigger Friday. I like that. And there he is, Twate Latte in the house. Spectacular MLB and college basketball capper. Jimmy Gomez ready to eat. Von Polo. Respect. Von Polo coming to us from Charm City. Ick Schnizzle, Ohio's finest, says, let's destroy this weekend. All right. Paco says, do you ever buy out of positions, Jimmy? I do buy out. And it was something that I never really did until the last few years. I have bought out of positions a few times, rarely, but yeah, I have, and I should start. I should make a new spreadsheet for just the buying out of the positions. All right, Molecular Ninja Man, it's been too long. We got Molecular Ninja in the house. And Twadi says, profit is profit. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Twadi. Yes, profit is profit. But, and also, this is a record that isn't with the best line available. This is just what I'm betting. And, Bet365 milks us. So it is a little better than the record looks. But you're right. It's all... I'm angry. I'm still angry. Clint started the Die Hard MMA podcast. PFL 7, Micah Terrell plus 275, 2 units this afternoon from Clint. Spreadsheet play today coming off a push. Still sitting at 11-3 is our Ron Crawford. Spreadsheet play today is in. Let me copy and paste that. Here we go. Spreadsheet play today. Milwaukee Brewers -1, -118. God, I've just been screwing up with these Brewers. And I almost made that bet earlier this morning, Ron. It was -125 for me, and I held off. I just, with the Pirates at home, I just been so hesitant backing the Brewers on these run lines when they keep cashing them. Mr. Gokster, ready to get to work. Another look from Clint, started the Die Hard MMA podcast. Thank you for sharing all of this with us. There we go. A half unit play on a big score for Clint there. Matty Ice in the house. Yeah. A Brady home run prop was gorgeous. I saw that. Cash was thinking about you right in the first inning. Soupy Panties, ready to get to work. It's Schnizzle shutting out Mr. Gokster. An excellent work he does. I tailed a few plays from the golf show, and we called it +5. That's plus 5,000. Beautiful. 50-1. Banger from Mr. Gokster. There's J Dub ready to go. Get to work. And look at Nilo. What a guy, Nilo. Thank you very much for the dono. You're a good man. We care about you very, very much. Thank you very much. That is extremely kind. And you're a good man. TJ played today. Took its first L yesterday, 6-1, but 85.7% today's plays. Dodgers first 5 -1/2. TJ's play of the day. Dodgers first 5 -1/2. I will copy and paste that. Here we go. Steve Zhang says, when does Frankie Cheeks make an appearance? Good question. He's just, him, man. He's knee deep in pussy right now, man. Luke Murphy in the house says, good luck last night. Had White Sox run line, decided to cash it out when Judge was up in the 9th. Nice work. Razor sharp picks in the house. Gambler's first glance locked and loaded today. Can't wait to hear what that is. Rob Garvey in the house. Long time no see. Slatsy45 says, wife driving up north while I listen to the show. Look at that. That's how couples stay together right there. That's how couples stay together. All right, let's get to work. Jeff Joseph says, just heard the news about Owendale. A really good one. Sad. Heartbreaking. But, yeah. Yeah. Sad. Heartbreaking. Maxwell Smart. 2 triples are wiped out a whole family of pigeons. Look at that. Maxie Smart in the house. Robert Cherry, 5-2 on the Pamper Pop play of the day of 4.2 units. Philadelphia first 5 -1/2 is the Pamper Pop play of the day. Let's have that copied and pasted here. Copy and paste Robert Cherry's Pamper Pop play of the day. There we go. Copied and pasted. Copied and pasted. All right. Here we go. Christopher Comentini, Uncool, Lance LaRose, and here we go. This is what I want to see. He said, Paco Healy says, love it. Snell due for a bad start. 13 Ks 5 days ago. He says, even if he pitches well, he won't go long. Penn got taxed yesterday with Darvish only going 3 innings, and lineup should be on point after a bad performance. I love it. Love hearing that. Now, I could have doubled up here. I did not. I do love your angle with the Padres bullpen taxed and the Diamondbacks bullpen terrible. There we go. All right, time to get to work. What up, Creo? What up, everybody? Slick Rick in the house. Mark Schillingberg ready to go. Nice. Great job, Mark Schillingberg. Beautiful. All right, and Creo says Jay's got him again. It was it was ugly right from the very beginning of that game. It was clear that Barrios did not have his form down. His mechanics were a mess, and It was not good, but let's get to work and make it good. Let's get to work right now. Razor Sharp Picks coming off a 2-0 sweep yesterday. There's Ryan Garson in the house. What up, Rye? And Luke Murphy at Arizona team total over 8.5 last night. Plus money. Nice work. Okay, let's get to work. We have 14 games on the MLB card. The White Sox and Yankees are traveling, so they get a day off, and they will resume their series in Chicago on Saturday. And it is time to get to work right now. And for those of you wondering, when will the Say Hey play of the Say Hey Kid come on the show to see if he will sweep the week, 4-0 on the week, not until the final game on our schedule. Not until our final game. So it's going to take you guys a little while before you see that glistening stash. Mr. New to Town. Twate Latte. Very kind of you, my man. Thank you. All right, let's get to work. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Let's go. Atlanta Braves, 59-56, 28-27 on the road. At Washington Nationals, 50-65, 29-30 at home. Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. And also, I believe I've seen enough of the CFL after a year off, so no games for almost, 19 months, 20 months. Making my first bet in CFL today, and we will be attacking the CFL games on the show from now on. But Braves Nationals is where we start. 88 Fahrenheit, humid, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour out to right center. 37-year-old Charlie Morton on the bump, 10-4, 3.52 ERA, 1.10 WHIP, 128 innings, 148 Ks, 44 walks, 12 homers. Last start, he went 6 innings, allowed 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks, and a 3-2 loss at home versus these Nationals. Josiah Gray, the fireballer, picked up off of the Dodgers. His last start, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 2 walks, and 10 Ks in a 3-2 win at the Braves. These guys went up against each other. We have a few different matchups today where the opponents are seeing the pitcher for the second time in 5 days. This is one of them. Braves versus righties the last 30 days, 258 with a 759 OPS. Nats versus righties, 259 with a 756 OPS. Last 30 days, the Braves bullpen has been very good. 3.51 ERA, 1.17 WHIP. Nats bullpen, 6.88 ERA, 1.64 WHIP. All right, let's go. And look at North Ender says, I stashed the lines too. CFL underdogs are 53, 26, and 2 between weeks 1 and 4 since 2015. Wow, that's a great stat, North Ender. Absolutely great stat. Okay, let's go. And Ron Crawford saying BC was easy with Riley, but lost the over. Riley is just going to play mistake-free football. That's all he's going to do. That's all he's going to do. He's just going to play real clean, mistake-free football. And so important note for our capping moving forward with the BC Lions. I did pull out my Casey Printer jersey, so I'm ready to go. Okay, so let's break this down. Let's go to the market and see what we are dealing with. You have to think if two pitchers are going to see the opponent again 5 days later, that the 37-year-old Charlie Morton may have more in his bag of tricks than Josiah Gray. But do you want to fade Gray? And we don't even know if he's pitching yet. There's still no market out, so I guess we don't know if he's pitching. Silence said, I'd like to know no-run first inning in the Atlanta Washington game, but it's a little sketchy. Freeman scares the shit out of me. And soup of the day, soup du jour. And Damon Santori says, I don't see great pitching lined up for everything I see. Okay, interesting. Soup of the day is Marlins money line for Soupy Panties. That was a great call. Taj. Great call. All right, let's pop this in. Here we go. Get the Soupy Panties play of the day. Okay, so we don't know who's pitching at this point. So hard to make any kind of – I guess we should just let it go for now. Now, Mark Schellenberg says, pretty sure that Josiah is pitching tomorrow. So if that's the case, we can talk a little bit about Charlie Morton. Let's bring up the baseball data for Charlie. Against these Nats, he just shuts them down. They're hitting 183 with a 604 OPS against them, but seeing him 5 days later is interesting. Taj also liking the Marlins today. So we'll just move past this. No line yet for Braves Nationals. Be curious to see who the Nats throw. And I was hoping for this matchup. So let's just move on from it. Let's move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Reds, Phillies. It was my mistake, I guess, hoping for the first 5 under 4.5 to be released in this game. It came out at 4. Let me confirm that there was no 4.5s anywhere, because there may have been. Let's move over to this spot here. Molly versus Zach Wheeler. Wheeler coming off the 2-hit shutout in his last start. It was a very impressive performance, and it opened at 4, and it's being bet towards the under. Mike M. Pimp Slap play of the day. Reds. And TJ says, great last 4 appearances, 24% home run fly ball rate. On top of that, he allows 60% fly balls. Bet against him first 5 if he goes tomorrow. I agree. I think he's probably an interesting fade after that spectacular performance that he just had. I'm going to copy and paste that here. There we go. Logan Collins in the house. Great to see you, Logan. Can't wait to see what your action is today. All right, Sunny Spring says Reds. I mean, the main points in this game, 91 Fahrenheit, humid, partly cloudy, 6 miles per hour to right. That's not it. Is Tyler Mahle's splits. We've talked about him all year. Gas Station Sushi mentioned that the Tyler Mahle is one of the most predictable pitchers in the MLB, which is wonderful. At home, he gets hit hard. 3-2, but 5.74 ERA, 2.66 opponents batting average. On the road, he's lights out. 6-1, 2.06 ERA, 192 opponents batting average. On the year, 3.78 ERA, 1.22 WHIP, 123 2/3, 148 Ks, 45 walks, and 18 home runs. 18 home runs. Reds are 62-54 now. 8 games over 500, 4 games over 500 on the road. Imagine what they'd be if they had a bullpen. Phillies are 60-55, 35-23 at home. Wheeler coming off that spectacular performance at home versus the Mets. Now he gets a second straight home start. Now he's been going into the 8th inning in most of his starts. Or I shouldn't say more. He's completed 7 in most of his starts and gone into 8 in a few of them. Coming off a complete game. At home, he's been so good this year. 6-3, 2.02 ERA, 191 opponents batting average. Reds versus righties, though, last 30 days, 265 with an 850 OPS. Harkens back to the old days of Toite, Latte, Mr. Newtown hammering their team total overs to great success. Phillies versus righties last 30 days, 240 with a 736 OPS. Reds bullpen's been real bad, 5.18 ERA, 1.44 WHIP. Phillies bullpen has been middling, 4.12 ERA, but the WHIP's been high. I was sitting there hoping for a first 5, 4.5, and I expected it, and it was a mistake. Good call, Logan. Wow, what a smart look. Robert Cherry says, Wheeler over 6.5 Ks. The Reds had a great game yesterday, but back on the road. Everything helps the capper, including travel, bullpens, high-scoring games, and back on the road. Bleds W, no-run first inning in Reds-Phillies. Sunny Spring says, Phillies are not hitting and bullpen sucks. Ride the nice win momentum on Reds who are smashing the ball. I was impressed with the Phillies pitching performance yesterday, but I hear you. I absolutely hear you. Reds, Phillies, Citizens Bank Park. I don't want to go under the 4. I don't want to need a 2-1 game. I need the 2-2 or 3-1 to be a win and not a push. Nasty Nate is coming to us live from DraftKings. That's dope, Nasty Nate. Our guy Nasty Nate in the house. Is anyone in Atlantic City? Respect Nasty Nate in the house. Logan Call says, give me the Reds minus 2.5 here. All right, well, let's take a look at baseball data and then check out the market in this spot. Against Tyler Mahle, they're hitting 290 with an 841 OPS. I take that a bit with a grain of salt, expecting him to be very good here on the road. Against Wheeler, these Reds are hitting 308 with an 891 OPS. So something that looked to me like it was going to be a sure bet immediately on my card, being the first 5 under 4.5, it moves to 4, and I don't like it. Not going to bet it. Let's go to full game here, money lines and totals. Reds, Phillies, full game money lines and totals. Phillies open up at minus 158. They're now minus 160, a 2-cent move towards them. This total was 8.5 to the under at minus 109. It's now minus 107, so a 2-cent move towards the over. Very interesting. Let's see if that lines up where the cash is at. Here we go. The game, we have 3,228 tickets in. 58% of the tickets on the Phillies money line, but just 44% of the cash. Wow. Very interesting. And then 50% of the tickets on the over and 85% of cash on the over. Wow. That is wild. Melvin Betances on Cincinnati first 5 team total over 1.5. Shalon is on Reds money line, Brewers money line, Tigers in Boston. Sean Thompson bet Reds overnight. And again, Logan minus 2.5 on the Reds. Matty Ice, Reds and the under. There's Ulysses Hayes. Great to see you, Ulysses. Okay, so that's going to be a stay-away game now. All right, how things change. We move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern, Milwaukee Brewers at Pittsburgh Pirates. And God, so many people just eating off of the Brewers lately. Eating. And I have not been one of them. And the spreadsheet play of the day is Milwaukee Brewers minus 1.5. And the Pirates are a tricky fade at home. Are they still a tricky fade at home? Let's break this down. Marquand Fitz, great to see you. Brewers 17-46, 38-19 on the road. Pittsburgh Pirates 41-74, 23-33 at home. PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 84 Fahrenheit, humid. Rain going to be an issue here. Marquand says love the Brewers in Oakland play of the day. Again, rain an issue. 5 miles per hour to right center. Brett Anderson 4-5, 3.54 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, 73 2/3, 44 Ks, 19 walks, 9 homers. Taj says Brewers won me a lot of money last 4 days in a row. We do not have the taint yet, Nasty Nate, but it will be here. And there's Lil E. Respect Lil E in the house, OG low bagger. So, Brett Anderson coming off a good start. 1 earned run in 5 innings, 5 hits, and a loss at home versus the Giants. And Mitch Keller coming off a poor start at the Reds. They're smashing, and they hit him hard. The thing is that Mitch Keller, who has a 7.06 ERA, 1.81 WHIP, 57 Ks, and 57 1/3, has terrible numbers at home. 2-6, 8.29 ERA, and opponents are hitting 329 against them. On the road, 1-3, 5.32 ERA, 267 opponents batting average. Brewers versus righties last 30 days, 266, 792 OPS. Pirates are hitting lefties at just 236, 19 clip. Brewers bullpen has looked a little more susceptible of late, 3.65 ERA, 1.30 WHIP. Pirates bullpen, 5.83 ERA, 1.62 WHIP. Bloods W says, don't overthink it, Jimmy. The Brewers are the right side. And Jeffrey Blue balls play today. Cardinals team total over 4.5. And yes, Matty Ice nails it, says, Paco Healy says you got Boston sauce on your upcoming college football panel. I am not in control of the college football situation, and I'm not on the shows. It's Babano and CMAC are hosting our college football. So I hope that they use DJ Big Boss as much as possible because I love him dearly. But I'm not sure. I can tell you that we will try to get him on this show as much as possible. Mark Schillingberg says, Keller is not a fade. This kid hasn't figured it out. The whole city is down on him. There's Crystal Warren joining us. I now follow her on Twitter. Hader is back for the Brewers. Wow, Logan Collins, wild. And don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. So let's just see what movement we've had on this. No movement, minus 125. You know, the market is kind of messed with me a little bit with Brewers games because the Brewers are okay. Money's coming back. Okay, so Brewers opened up at minus 180. They're now minus 201. This total opens up at 9.5. It's now at 9. Let's go to the baseball data here. Against Brett Anderson, look at that. They're 6 for 50, 120 with a 307 OPS. And only 2 Brewers batters have seen Mitch Keller, and they've hit him. Red Girl in the house. Great to see you, Red Girl. Mr. New to Town, Twate says Reynolds Stallings are 6 for 19 against Anderson. The rest of the team is 0 for 33 against them. That's wild, Twatty. That is wild. TJ says Anderson's last 5 starts, 0.82 whip. Keller double that. 50% hard rate versus Keller. Brewers first 5 minus a half on my card. I mean, the Pirates bullpen is just so weak. Yesterday, going over the mistakes I made yesterday, one of them was that I was worried because the Brewers had cashed the run line in every game in that Cubs series. I was worried that I was like, am I going to be, late to the party, early to the funeral? And then they win 17-3. Yeah, Paco Healy, that is the plan. That is the plan. And there's Crystal Warren, Twitter handle, Happy Enchilada 2. I follow her now on Twitter, and she's a great follow. She's fun. She's a great capper and a big addition to our community. Rodney Barton says Brewers are like 6-1 on the run line facing Pittsburgh so far this year. Brewers will continue to smash. And Taj, thank you for the kind words. All right, let's take a look at where the cash flow lies. 5,560 tickets in, 87% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on the Brewers. 60% of tickets, 94% of cash on the under, and it's moved from 9.5 to 9. Okay. Look, I hope I'm not going to stop this money train. Spreadsheet play today's Brewers -1.5 and -118, and I will join. Brewers -1.5. It'll be -125, I expect. And Paco Elias says lots of low baggers that crush NCAA football like big guy Bubba. Bubba's a monster, isn't he? Monster. Michael Irvelina, we are not going over NFL preseason today. We're not going over NFL preseason. And I apologize. It's just time here because I am going to talk a little bit about that CFL game at the end of the card. But we're going to have to stop putting as much time as we have been in MLB when all the sports come back come late August. And I'm sorry, Michael Irvelina, for that. Okay, let's move on. Dad Fan says there's going to be a different weekly lineup for shows in the fall. We got to be together Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yes. Mike M says take the Bills. That's all you need. Yes, there will be, and we'll be announcing it publicly here shortly. But Saturday morning, we'll have a NCAA football kickoff show, a big Saturday morning kickoff show. Sunday morning, we'll have an NFL kickoff show as well that I will be hosting the Sunday one. And Monday, we'll have an NCAA football breakdown show. And Tuesday, we'll have an NFL football breakdown show where we can get ahead of the line movements. So Bobano and CMAC are in charge of NCAA football, and I'll be handling NFL football. So, yes, there will be – now, this show will stay Tuesday to Friday and stay in its format, but I'm also going to have the Tuesday night show for NFL and Sunday morning NFL show. All right, Taint play of the day is in. The Taint play of the day is in. Cardinals first 5 -110. Cardinals first 5 -110. Let's pop that in to that game. That game pops off at 8:10 p.m. Flaherty versus Mike Minor. Taint play of the day is in. Taint's in, baby. Okay, so let's keep rolling. We'll break that down in a little bit. Jack Triper says, do we still do horse races live? Well, I tell you this, we have 2 excellent shows on Wednesday and Thursday nights with Razor Sharp Picks horse racing shows. And then I do the big cards. So our next show's in 8 days for the Pacific Cup, the Pacific Classic, Pacific Classic over in Del Mar. So we'll do the entire Saratoga card, the entire Del Mar card on Saturday, August 21st. Saturday, August 21st. And that will be very, very fun. Unfortunately, I can't do the Travers this year, which bothers me very much. But so we're going to do it a week earlier. My dad's coming in town. I haven't seen him in over a year. So, yeah, I'm going to bet it. But can't do a live show. Okay, so let's move on. And let's let my pleasure, Jack. Thank you for caring about those shows. They mean a lot to me. So let's move on and let's let our guy Logan Collins lead us into this. Says, love the Orioles today. I think the odds are so good. He got them at plus 215 last night. Let's break this down. Orioles Red Sox. My immediate thought was to go over this total, and I saw the move towards the under, and I thought let's just wait and see what's up. There's Peanut in the house. He says, still on fire, looking for OG status. Says Seattle first 5 -0.5. Ooh, wow, that's going to be a big score. Miami first 5, Atlanta first 5, Detroit first 5, and over first 5 Houston. Oh, wow, that's interesting, Peanut. And Gambler's first glance is in. Gambler's first glance is in. There will be a video breakdown of this game by Razor Sharp Picks on our channel. There will be a video on our channel. I'm just going to copy and paste this. Gambler's first glance is in. And, you know, I should talk to Jose about this because we're very lucky and honored that Razor announces his Gambler's first glance on our show. Very fortunate to have that happen. So we should probably get graphics for our guy, Gambler's first glance and Razor Sharp Picks. Logan Collins says, love your thinking, love the over. So do I. So when the market's moving against me, I prefer to talk it out with you guys before we move on it. And I knew it was going to be a high total. We're at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. Orioles are 38-75, 21-38 on the road. Red Sox 66-51, 34-24 at home. 85 Fahrenheit, humid, partly cloudy, 5 miles per hour out to left. Spencer Watkins going up against Nick Pivetta. Let's just go and see what has happened with this market move so I can think about it while we're doing it. Yes, 10.5's on the board now. Now, clearly, Logan Collins is a pro, and he's got big, giant balls and makes huge bets. So Logan Collins sees a market move from 11 to 10.5, and he thinks, well, that's a mistake. I'm going to bet against it. I see a market move from 11 to 10.5, and I get scared. What am I missing? Pivetta, there's been no movement on Pivetta, which makes me think the Orioles are live here. And Crystal Warren says, Gambler's first glance saved me from knee-jerk picks. Great analysis. I love it. Logan Collins says, fade the public at 7-4 this game ends. And Robert Cherry, triple up spot, Phillies, Wheeler, and Phillies first 5 under 4. Where are you getting that 4.5, Robert? Are you paying? I guess you're paying. Are you paying for it? Or is there a book that's hanging that 4.5? Because I would have moved on it already. Okay, but let's go back to this spot here. Orioles, Red Sox. Spencer Watkins, 2-3, 4.22 ERA. 1.31 whip, 32 innings, 22 Ks, 11 walks, 4 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings. He allowed 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which were earned, 2 homers, no walks, 4 Ks, and a 12-3 loss at home versus the Rays. Going up against Pivetta, 8-5, 4.34 ERA, 1.27 whip, 118 in the third, 131 Ks, 50 walks, 17 home runs. I don't know what to do with Pivetta, Logan, and that's my problem. I know he's not as good as his numbers indicate. I also know that he's not nearly as good at home than he is on the road. He's coming off a great start at Toronto, 7-inning doubleheader, 6 innings, 1 hit, no one runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Donald still says, I'm on the first 5 under 6. I hate backing Pivetta, but he's been facing elite batting lately, and the O's are not that. Mr. Newtown Toite Latte says, under 6.5 team total for a team that may not get 9 at-bats. That's interesting. In the Red Sox. Very, very interesting. And Robert Jerry says, FanDuel, my local. Okay, I like it, Robert. I get it. Nutflush Allen says, the move yesterday in the Pirates game went from 9.5 to 8.5, and boom, hammered the over easy cash. Jake Kaiser thinking the Orioles are the look. Okay, so Pivetta, last start was excellent. It was at Toronto. That means so much to him. He's a Victoria boy. He's from Canada. So he goes 6 innings, allows 1 hit. On the road, he's 5-3 with a 3.09 ERA. Opponents are batting 192 against him. At home, he's a 5.80 ERA, and opponents are batting 264 against him. Orioles versus righties last 30 days aren't hitting 252, 732 OPS. Either of the Red Sox, 244, 730 OPS. What I want to attack is these bullpens. They're terrible. The Red Sox bullpen have been playing over their head all year. They do not look good right now. 5.73 ERA, 1.50 whip over the last 30 days. Same with the Orioles bullpen. 6.31 ERA, 1.51 whip. And Ron Crawford, gold spreadsheet play, 79% are Milwaukee and St. Louis. Those are the recent bullpen numbers. They're atrocious, DJ. Which makes me want to go over this total. So let's go to baseball data here. Baseball data. These Red Sox haven't seen Spencer Watkins. Never pitched at Fenway. Against Pivetta, they're hitting 233, but with the 841 OPS, they're 10 for 43 but with 3 homers and 1 triple. Turnsy, it's all good, my man. We trust you. We believe in you. Crystal Warren says, I'm leaning under first 5. I just think that 6.5 is too high. All right, let's go to the cash flow here and see what we are dealing with. 3,808 tickets in, 75% of the tickets, 85% of the cash on Boston, and no movement. No movement. Then we have 61% of the tickets and 64% of the cash on the over. And it's going down. I don't know the situation with Mountcastle right now other than he's not being available for them. Wow. Money on the over. Market dropping for more money. Logan, I do not have the balls to pull the trigger here. The market, they want us to bet the over. And I don't have the confidence to go up against this market move, and I haven't been doing it this year. So, unfortunately, Damon's saying Boston missed playoffs like plus 250. I feel like the arms fall apart. We have to see what happens when Chris Sale comes back, if that gives them a jolt. Dommy Gun Ricci says, nice 3-0 night. Mets game 1 minus 1.5. Cards minus 127. Giants team total over at 4.5. And says, total tail of the great Nut Flush Allen. I love it, Dommy Gun. Great job. Mike M says, Baltimore stinks. That line is the line not moving is a blessing. Boston here. All right, I'm taking this off my card. I just don't have the confidence of a Logan Collins. And I've been doing that all year. And as tough as this last little, couple weeks has been, I'm still up 9 units, and my ROI's still at 1.95%. And, the whole goal of what we're doing is for our unit size to go up. And if my unit size was where I would like it to be. Now, for me, the next step, when I know that I'm on the right track, will be $500 units. And my unit size hasn't gone up in, 3 years. So it went up $25 in MLB, but that's not even a full unit in comparison to NHL and NFL. But how much money do you need to be betting on a game for your ROI at plus 1.95% for you to be able to pay a mortgage and raise a family? Well, at a minimum, at a bare minimum, it's got to be $5K is the answer, really. At a minimum, I was going to say $3,000 units, but okay. So Sunny Spring says Baltimore loves Fenway this year, and there is Noli knows will be making appearances on the show moving forward. He's spectacular capper, whom I love dearly. Okay, so let's move on. I'm not going to pull the trigger on the Orioles Red Sox, but I will cheer heavily for Logan Collins and all you guys back in the dog. We move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Cubs 52-65, 21-37 on the road at Miami Marlins, 48-67, 27-27 at home. Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Roof expected to be closed. Adbert Alzolay going up against Jesus Luzardo. Jesus Luzardo, who we thought was going to be the ace of this A's rotation moving forward. Now a Marlin. Adbert Alzolay, 4-12, 4.71 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, 105 innings, 106 Ks, 31 walks, 23 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 2/3, allowed 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, no walks, 7 Ks, and a 4-0 loss at the White Sox. And Jesus Luzardo, 7.36 ERA, 1.68 WHIP, 47 2/3, 47 Ks, 23 walks, 12 home runs. I like that, Nut Flush Allen. Respect. Here we go. Logan Collins says Marlins, and Tuate Latte says Miami -1 at plus 120. Jesus Luzardo coming off a bad start at Colorado. Now he faces a team that's hitting 204, 705 OPS versus lefties last 30 days. Marlins versus righties last 30 days, much better, 256, but 729 OPS. Cubs bullpen a train wreck. Marlins bullpen strong. All right, let's take a look at the market move. A lot of people talking about Miami here. Miami opens up at -117. They're now -114. And this total's gone from 8 to 7.5. Well, why would the market be moving towards the Chicago Cubs? The Marlins haven't seen Alzolay, and only Chirinos has seen Luzardo. So let's go over to this. And TJ says got the over 3.5 earlier today, but it looks like 4 everywhere now. Really? Because my first thought was over as well, first 5, but the 3.5 was way too low. So I have 3.5 right across the board. And this opened at 4.5. It was quite juiced, but it opened at 4.5. 3,480 tickets in. 81% of the tickets, 61% of the cash on the Marlins. Strange. You have 81% of the tickets, so clearly they're a public look because people want to fade the Cubs. But only 61% of cash, and the market is moving towards the Miami Marlins. Excuse me, towards the Chicago Cubs. A 3-cent move towards the Chicago Cubs. Then for the total here, we have 55% of the tickets on the over, 52% of the cash on the over. So, and Logan Collins says, give me over 9.5 at plus 325. So, I agree with you guys. We just saw the Cubs fall apart. One of the things that made me hesitant to move on the Brewers was that we know what happens when a team's on a big winning streak and they switch cities. The ROI is terrible. Now the Cubs they were just getting killed at home. Now they get to go on the road away from, the media destroying them. Robert Cherry says, I'm actually leaning Cubs first 5 plus 100. Logan Collins says, trust me on this over 9.5 at plus 325. Real Deal Prime says, Miami had day off, rested Miami here. Logan Collins says, over 7.5, got to be a joke. Donald still says, in what world do these pitchers get a first 5, 3.5? That's what I thought. TJ says, no way can I back Luzardo. Look at those Sierra and FIP numbers. First 5, 3.5 is so good. Mr. Ghoster says Alzolay has a day today. It's just confusing. Trinity says, why the hell is the total so low? Someone explain that to me. Both Miami's bullpen is so much stronger than the Cubs. Cubs bullpen's falling apart, but do you trust Miami's offense? And Christopher Commentee says because these lineups are a joke. Logan Collins says his book has 3.5 at minus 125. Mr. Ghoster says Luzardo's sneaky good in the first inning. 1.60 ERA, 1.13 whip in the first inning. Mr. Ghoster says no run first inning. With the full card the way it is right now, I'm just not going to move on this. Mr. New to Town, Tuate says Cubs offense is absolutely terrible. This is going to be a pass for me. I'm confused. And when things don't correlate right up, I stay off. I've been staying off, and I've got to continue to do that as much as it annoys me. Rodney Barton says the total is 7 now. I don't see that. But the 7.5. Oh, wow, he's right. Bet Online just moved it to 7. Holy shit. That's crazy. That's crazy, Rodney. Are you going to move on it, Rodney? Because this is just when things don't add up, I stay away. Wow, Logan says his book is 7 now, too. Okay, I'm moving off. We go to 7:10 p.m. Eastern next up. Cleveland Indians 55-58, 26-31 on the road at Detroit Tigers 57-60, 32-25 at home. We're at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Zach Plesac has been terrible. Terrible. 6-4, 4.84 ERA, 1.15 whip, 89 in the third, 58 Ks, 19 walks, 17 home runs. In his last start, he went 4 2/3. Rodney, let me know. 4 2/3, 2 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which were earned, 1 homer, 3 walks, 6 Ks, and a 7-5 win at home versus these Tigers. And then his home numbers are better than his road numbers. At home, he's 2-1 with a 4.41 ERA, 227 opponents batting average. On the road, he's 4-3, 5.40 ERA, 264 opponents batting average. Tyler Alexander, 2-1, 4.35 whip. 4.35 ERA, 1.32 whip, 60 innings, 49 Ks, 14 walks, 10 homers. His last start, he goes 5 1/3, 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 4 Ks, and 2-1 win at Cleveland, but they get a chance to just see him. Twatty says Detroit, Cleveland under 9.5. Zach Wilson says Miggy's 500th homer today at home. So Indians versus lefties last 30 days, they've been much better. 261, 756 OPS. Tigers are smashing lefties and not really hitting righties hard. 241, 731 in the last 30 days. Indians bullpen is falling apart. 4.79 ERA, 1.37 whip. Tigers bullpen, 2.51 ERA, 1.25 whip. Let's go to baseball data, and there won't be much again here. Well, Plesac, there will be. And Plesac shuts this team down. 200 average, 621 OPS. Against Tyler Alexander, there's a good amount. 36 at-bats, surprising. 333, the 1.035 OPS. Lil Pick says, can't trust Plesac, especially on the road. He gave up 32 home runs, 13 home runs the last 10 games. I agree, Lil Picks. Or Lit Picks. Lit Picks. Excuse me, I agree, Lit Picks. Turnsy66 says, on Detroit radio, they said Miggy wasn't playing today. Mike Kemp says, love Detroit. They win as a dog. They lose as a fave. Sneaky regional home dog opportunity. All right, let's bring up the market for this spot. Opens up at 9.5 and drops to 9. So Twatty beats the market move there. Indians open up at -108. They're now -114. A 6-cent move towards them. Let's see why that is cash flow wise. Here we go. 3,303 tickets in. 51% of the tickets on Detroit, just 31% of the cash. So some big bets coming in on Plesac and the Indians. Then we have 57% of tickets, 62% of cash on the under, and it's moving to the under. And Rodney pulled the trigger on the over 7. Yeah, Rem Most, I'm very, very excited. Everybody in this country is very, very excited. R says, what is the first 5 under at? Let's move over there. I mean, these guys just saw their opponents. And Plesac pitched terribly, and Alexander pitched great. The total opened up at 5.5. It's now at 5. And again, if you want the under, I don't know if you pull the trigger on it. That 5 has to be a winning bet, not a push. Look at Ron Crawford's stat. Isn't Ron Crawford a great guy to cap with? Teams under 500 as favorite in August are 27-8. And Cleveland is 55-58. I see this as a coin flip. And Rob Garvey asking if anyone's having trouble with DraftKings right now, if you could help out our man Rob. I cannot confidently bet on either side here. All right, let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Market move I destroyed. Last night I bet it. I tweeted it out. Dodgers, Mets under 9. It's now 8. A full run. I smashed a full run off this shit. And this morning on the radio, I didn't want to take, for the radio show purposes, not for my action, but just for the radio show purposes and my official record on the radio show, I didn't want to take an 8.5. And then 20 minutes after the radio show, it's down to 8. But I got the under 9 at -125 in Dodgers, Mets. Dodgers 69-46, 33-26 on the road. Mets 59-55, 36-20 at home at Citi Field in Queens, New York. 88.9 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 9 miles per hour to straight away center. Logan Collins, hit me on Twitter. We can set that up. We'd love that. Absolutely love that. And Polo this, Polo that says great stat. Isn't that a great stat by Ron Crawford? But yeah, Logan Collins, got to get on Twitter, man. That's where we do our work. Julio Urias, 13-3, 3.41 ERA, 1.08 whip, 134 and 2/3, 144 Ks, 28 walks, 17 home runs. Taint merch, we're working on it. We are working on Taint merch. Last start for Urias, 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, 5 Ks, and a 5-3 win at home versus the Angels. Tyler Megal, 1-2, 3.20 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, 45 innings, 48 Ks, 28 walks, 17 home runs. I had a sneaking suspicion that the market would be set too high for this total because of the way the Dodgers hit righties last 30 days, 267, 92 OPS, and how bad Megals looked in his last 2 starts on the road in stadiums he's never pitched in before. At home, he's 1-0 with a 1.85 ERA, 182 opponent's batting average. This was a spot I knew I had to wait and hammer, and I was a little late even so. Got a little too caught up in the fucking Field of Dreams game that I missed it, that the juice was minus 125 when I bet it. I'm just at Jimmy the Bag, Morgan. At Jimmy the Bag. But if you follow me, so I know what your Twitter handle is so I can follow you back. I follow back all low baggers. And TJ says, this is the TJ play of the day, first 5 minus a half. I thought about betting the Dodgers. And I thought about betting the Dodgers first 5 as well, and I didn't. Oh, and there we go. SJC capping for Sammy Comer. I will copy and paste that. I will always follow low baggers. Always. Copy and paste that. TJ says Dodgers give Urias a ton of run support too. These offenses are heading in opposite directions. And the stat that Ron Crawford gave us with the record of favorites under 500, and he says, don't forget Marlins are also one of those plays. And Mex Sharky has played today's $500 on the Pirates. Ooh-wee. And Brian Watts is all 5 CFL games underdogs so far. And there's Chief in the house. Okay, so, and Mike M, shut him down 18. Thank you. Anybody want to post their Twitter handle? I will copy and paste. Okay. North Ender says Giants now favored to win the NL West over the Dodgers first time this year. That's wild. That is absolutely wild. Okay, so let's go back to work here. Von Polo, I'm hoping we're very close to announcing an enormous get-together here for Pub Sports Radio. We're very close to announcing it, and you guys will have just under 3 months to hook it up, to lock down, and it's not going to be expensive, and it's going to be fucking magic. So I'm very close to announcing that. We are very close at Pub Sports to announce a huge, huge party that I want to do so badly. Fucking so badly. Okay, so let's keep rolling. Apologize for the slip up or slow down there. I'm on the under 9 and minus 125. Let's go into baseball data here. Both bullpens pitching very well. We expected more from the Dodgers bullpen maybe, but last 30 days, 3.40 ERA, 1.19 WHIP. Mets bullpen, 3.75 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. Against Urias, 269 with an 860 OPS. Look, I don't love those numbers. And the Dodgers haven't seen Tyler Megal. Bring your moms. I forgot about that. And Nupfly said, I told you months ago, I hope you got those futures on the Giants. I would love that too, Logan Collins. I promise you that will happen. I guarantee you that will happen. Okay, so then let's move into the market here. We know that the full game went from 9 to 8. The first 5 went from 4.5 to 4. Dodgers sitting at minus 160 as a first 5 money line favorite. That's up from minus 152. And then when we move over to full game, here, the Dodgers open up at minus 140. They're now minus 154. And as I said, it's gone down a full run. Not only that, it's gone down a full run, and it's just minus 110 either way. So it's not even juiced to the over. So we have 4,337 tickets in. 84% of the tickets, 93% of the cash on the Dodgers. It's a lot. Then we have 48% of the tickets and 94% of the cash on the over. The question is, when did those big bets come in? Did they come in at 8? And here we go. We have the Rusty Kuntz play of the day. Robbie Ray to record the win at plus 102. Oh, nice, Comer. Nice, Sammy. So you're going to the Gretzky Winery, right? Oh, man, that's great. All right, so I'm going to Rusty Kuntz, play of the day is in. Let's copy and paste that right above the game so we can discuss it. And that is also Jose's game. Rusty Kuntz, play of the day is in. Robbie Ray to record the win at plus 102. Look at him there. Just so relaxed, just so poised on the bridge of Rusty's nutsack. All right. Let's move on. Sammy, you got to tell me all about that. That would be something I would love to do, and I haven't done it before. I got to go to Gretzky's. I love Wayne. All right, let's go. We move on, but Dodgers under 9 minus 125. Put that out last night. I hope you guys jumped on with me, and we move on. We move on to the Oakland Athletics at Texas Rangers. This was an interesting spot. How do you not want an under when the Rangers play? So the total went from 8.5 down to 8, and then it went back to 8.5. And I thought, what am I missing here? Am I missing these Rangers are hitting 166 with a 470 OPS last 30 days versus lefties? Is it the fact that they saw Cole Irvin last start? What is it? What is it? Athletics 67-48, 33-23 away. Rangers 40-75, 26-30 at home. Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Roof expected to be closed. Mike M says all the Gretzky youth and junior gear is cool to see. Yeah, I love it. I love it. How do you not like Wayne Gretzky? Guy's a booze bag. He's a gambler. He makes his wife take the fall for the gambling. It's wild. It's just what, and successfully does all that while drunk. Cole Irvin, 8-10, 3.45 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, 130 and a third, 94 Ks, 24 walks, 11 home runs. Last start, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and a 12-3 win at home versus the Rangers. The Rangers aren't hitting lefties. Alex Johnson says, I like daughter more. Yes, she's ooh-wee. Dane Dunning, 5-7, 4.07 ERA, 1.39 WHIP, 95 innings, 93 Ks, 33 walks, 9 home runs. Last start at home, lights out, because that's what he does. At home, he's lights out. These are his splits. So last start, he allows 1 earned run, 5 innings against a weak Angels squad. But at home, he's 5-2 with a 2.51 ERA. Opponents are hitting 244 against him. On the road, 0-5, 6.45 ERA. Opponents are hitting 307 against him. Now, the A's aren't hitting righties hard, 246, 730 OPS. Their bullpen's being lights out, 1.95 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. And Rangers bullpen's being good too, 3.80 ERA, 1.35 WHIP. Their CT Bays in the house. Yeah, Zach Wilson, I hear that. Teams coming off such big run games usually seem to do way worse next game. But, Domi Gunrichi, he goes against that look because a lot of people believe that, and he always goes against it. Robert Cherry says A's first 5 minus a half and Irvin under 4.5 Ks. All right, let's go to baseball data here. Against Irvin, they're hitting 220 with a 611 OPS. Against Dunning, 200 with a 729 OPS. Why would it have gone from 8 to 8.5? I don't understand. And also, when I saw that Bet365 still hadn't moved it to 8.5. So why? I wonder why. Pinnacle has it at 8.5. 3 hours later, it moves to 8. So the first action, which we propose is sharp action, but we don't know. So then it goes down to 8. It stays at 8 for 3 hours, and then at 11:46 p.m. it goes back to 8.5. It only lasts at 8.5 for 7 minutes before it's bet down to 8 again. Then it stays at 8 until 9:23 this morning. And then for the next 2 hours. And then this is maybe me romanticizing what we do. But whenever there's that early morning movement, I think, is that the European syndicates? Because it's night out there. Maybe that's just me in a fairy tale world. But then the 8.5, the over 8.5 gets juiced to minus 111. Why would the over be getting juiced? Rodney Barton says Rangers aren't hitting lefties. Oakland smacking the ball right now over the total. There's Coco Bongo in the house. Ron Crawford's getting 7.49. I just, for the life of me, I had to stop. Instead of just betting it, I was like, look, let's talk it out with everybody. Why would this be happening? So let's go to the cash and see if this will explain anything. And here it is. 79% of tickets on the A's, only 57% of the cash. Who would be betting the Rangers here? Now, look, Cole Irvin with the eye test is very hittable. And then 51% of tickets on the over, 77% of cash on the over. Big Show picks in the house. We should track which hat is the luckiest. Our guy Diesel Eugene's always told me that he succeeds with the Angels hat on the most. But do I have any good story? If I can find some of my old hats, I have many drunken good stories. TJ says if the cash is on the Rangers, then it has to be an under. Oh my gosh, Turnsey, I did not see that. Thornton signed a 1-year deal with Florida? God, it's crazy. TJ says capped it closer to 7.5, so I pounced on the 8.5 under. But bumping it back up worries me. Look, it just doesn't all correlate. And that's the one thing I've been doing. Is if it doesn't all correlate, I'm just not betting it. And I have to keep going here. I have to stay disciplined. I do not know why people are hammering the over here. And if it doesn't make sense, I can't just say, look, I'm wiser or I'm better than the perceived market move. So, Real Deal Prime says, Dunning going 3 or 4 innings bullpen game. The Rangers bullpen's been pretty good of late. So I have to move on. But we will revisit it. Let's move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Matty Ice, Taint play of the day. Cardinals first 5 -0.5. Harold Williams, great call, man. Absolutely great call. And ours is under a pass. I agree with that. St. Louis Cardinals 58-56, 26-31 on the road at Kansas City Royals, 49-64, 29-27 at Homer Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, 77 Fahrenheit, overcast, 6 miles per hour in. 6 miles per hour in, and we have reached Jack Flaherty versus Mike Minor and the Taint play of the day. The Taint play of the day is here. Flaherty returns after suffering an oblique tear while taking an at-bat on May 31st. He says that he injured his oblique while pitching, but he felt the visceral tweak when swinging, and now he's been out for 2.5 months. So they're starting him here so that he won't have to bat. He appeared in 3 rehab starts, 2 at AAA Memphis. He threw 75 pitches in his last start. And the Cardinals are confident that he's going to be great right away with no limitations on the mound because the injury was to the left side of his body. And he's a righty. Spreadsheet concurs, says our guy Ron Crawford. There's Mr. Nimbus in the house. Crystal Warren says, I took the over this morning on this spot. So let's break it down. Flaherty, 8-1, 2.90 ERA, 1.03 whip, 62 innings, 67 Ks, 20 walks, and 7 home runs allowed. Mike Minor, 8-10, 5.39 ERA, 1.27 whip, 130 in the third, 128 Ks, 39 walks, 21 homers allowed. In Minor's last start, he went 5 innings, allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 7 Ks, and 4-2 loss to the Cardinals. He's been equally bad at home as he has on the road. And the Cards are smashing lefties right now. 255, 800 OPS versus lefties. Royals versus righties last 30 days, just 223, 635 OPS. Both bullpens have been good. So the question is, do you trust Flaherty here? And if so, at what price would you back him at? Against Flaherty, these Royals are 4 for 35 with a double. 114 with a 327 OPS. Against Mike Minor, these Cards are 386 with a 1.165 OPS. I mean, these are numbers that are screaming back the Cardinals. So let's see this market here. We have The Cardinals opening up at minus 127. They're now minus 136. So 9-cent move towards them. And the total's gone from 9 to 8.5. So let's bring up the cash in this spot. 2,597 tickets in. 83% of the tickets, 71% of the cash on the Cardinals. And not a big move towards them. 9 cents. 70% of tickets on the over and 75% of cash on the over. The Cards are raking against lefties right now. We have to trust that. Flaherty has been drooling over the opportunity to return. Robert Cherry's on St. Louis first 5 minus a half and the under 5.5 Ks for Flaherty. Let's go to the first 5 and see what we are dealing with. Again, both bullpens pitching well. It's not expensive. Why wouldn't it be expensive? Remo says Cards look like the easy play. I think you're absolutely right, Crystal Warren, because Michaelis is going to be back after Flaherty. I guess the Cardinals are 26-31 on the road. Royals are 29-27 at home. Remo says Cards look like the easy play. Is this an easy play? Is this an easy play? And if so, with the Royals bullpen pitching well right now, do we solely want to focus on the Cardinals' first 5 and their ability against lefties? Probably. Probably this is an easy play. But why is it? Ugh. All right, Paco's in. Cards first 5 minus a half. Zach Wilson said the Padres was last night. It was the same situation, and they got crushed. Flaherty first start back. It's not. Oh, and Guillermo Zertucci coming in. Box of chocolates at 3-1. Del Mar race 6. The 9 box of chocolates. Wow. Okay, let me copy and paste this. Thank you for sharing that with us, Guillermo. All right, it just seems like the simple play here. I just don't know why it's not more expensive. Why would it not be more expensive? Why would it not cost us more for this? And all the public's on it. CT Bay says this one feels tricky. I mean, judging from just the baseball data alone, these guys hit 386 with a 1.165 OPS against them. Christopher Comatini, they say no pitch limit. Mike M says they got this big giant castles in the desert based on easy plays. I guess I'm going to put a 1 question mark beside it because it just. The Brewers were very easy plays and they all cashed. Why the Cards not a bigger favorite? Donald still says Flaherty gave up 3 in his last minor league start. All right. Let's move on. Eric Rosas in the house. We move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Tampa Bay Rays 70-45, 35-23 on the road at Minnesota Twins, 50-65, 26-31 at home. We're at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 79 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 9 miles per hour out to right. And CT Bay says, but Brewers were big faves. You're absolutely right. Mike M says Brewers lines were over 200. No, that's a very important point. All right. And Zach says Royals are a way better team than the Cubs. All right, we're in Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 79 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 9 miles per hour out to right field. Shane McClanahan versus Michael Pineda. McClanahan 6-4, 3.75 ERA, 1.25 WHIP, 84 innings, 99 Ks, 28 walks, 11 home runs. In his last start, he went 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 8 Ks, and a 12-3 win at the Orioles. Pineda 4-7, 3.83 ERA, 1.20 WHIP, 82 and a third, 70 Ks, 17 walks, 13 home runs. In his last start, went 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 0 walks, 3 Ks, and a 4-0 loss at the Astros. The Rays versus righties 2.5. Oh, excuse me. The Rays bullpen, 2.51 ERA, 1.07 whip over their last 30 days. They've been smashing righties. And Twins bullpen, 4.38 ERA, 1.25 whip, has improved drastically, actually, of late. Thank you. Okay, so let's move over to the baseball data here. Twins haven't seen McClanahan, and the Rays against Pineda, 47 at-bats from Kiermaier, Cruz, and Zunino, and they're 9 for 47 with 2 doubles and a triple. So 191 with a 560 OPS against Michael Pineda. Thank you, North Ender, my man. Crystal. Okay, so let's check out the market move here. First 5, we'll start there. First 5, it was a pick'em initially at 5, and now there's been a 7-cent move to the under. And there's been a 5-cent move on the Rays. I understand why. I believe I understand why that's juiced to the under now. When we go to the full game, it opens at 9.5 at minus 106. Now it's 9.5 minus 115. Eric Rosas says the Twins have been somehow winning. Maybe teams are just taking them lightly. 2,900 tickets in, 79% of tickets, 89% of cash on the Rays. Then 51% of tickets and 54% of cash on the over. But I don't know why exactly that would be. I think this is too high of a total. Morgan Spooner on McClanahan 5Ks, Rays moneyline plus 110. Rays beat up on bad teams every year. Very fundamentally sound team. Twins bullpen much better. Problem is you're going to get 9 at-bats from the Rays. McClanahan pitching well. The Rays are smashing righties right now. That's the only problem. But Pineda's pitching well. In fact, I was a little surprised that Pineda wasn't picked up at the deadline. Feels like there is an under here. Doesn't it? 9.5? There are going to be 10 runs in this game? I think they want cappers to bet the over right now. And I do not want to double up on this under any circumstances. TJ says first 5 under. Said he waited till it got to 5. I've only seen it at 5. Let's go over to Pinnacle. Sorry, let's go over to Bet Online. Total. Yeah, it opened at 4.5. Interesting. Moved up to 5. You know, the bullpens are pitching well. Yeah, you're right. It was 4.5 earlier, TJ. I didn't know that. I think this 9.5 is too high. I think it's predicated with a vividness of the Twins having a terrible bullpen. They don't. Their bullpen's been quite good over the last 30 days. All right, I'm in. Under 9.5 is being added to my card here. I think that move towards the under makes sense. I think it makes sense. All right, let's move on to 9:38 p.m. Eastern. That's the next up on the docket. Robert Cherry on Rays, first 5 minus a half. K's over 6.5. The strikeout situation, I need to study. And Puzzler says that alternate first 5 lines now you can get under 4.5 minus 105. No, I prefer the 9.5 Puzzler because I do believe this is partly bet with an idea that the Twins bullpen's terrible when it has been improving of late. So, plus 105. So and again, I like the 5. First 5. I want that 5 to be a push. Greer saying, what horse races do you have? I'm not entirely sure. what you mean. I have 2 pigeons on the balcony. That's about all I have. Astros 68-46, 31-23 on the road at Los Angeles Angels, 58-58, 32-38 at home. We're at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. 78 Fahrenheit clear, 8 miles per hour out to straightaway center. This was a spot where I had interest in Zach Greinke. I had interest in Patrick Sandoval and Greinke pitching well. The Astros aren't hitting lefties like we remember them. Last 30 days, 256, 743 OPS. I had interest in the under, and I wanted to talk it out with you guys. Let's break it down. There's Brandon Cummings in the house. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us. So it's 78 Fahrenheit clear, 8 miles per hour to straightaway center. And this Angels team, there's Brian Warner in the house. This Angels team, I know they got to Barrios last night, but his mechanics were all wonky. I have no fear against this Angels squad. Greinke, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 3 Ks, and a 5-4 extra inning loss at home versus the Twins. But look at Greinke's numbers this year. Look at his splits. At home, he's 5-3 with a 4.58 ERA, points hitting 278. On the road, 5-0, 2.67 ERA, 217 opponent's batting average. Going up against Patrick Sandoval, who's been very good this year. 3-5, 3.39 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, 91 Ks, and 82 and a third. His last start, 4-3 extra inning win at the Dodgers. I thought he pitched well. 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. The Angels are hitting just 237, 662 OPS versus righties. The Astros bullpen, 3.16 ERA, 1.23 WHIP has been great. But the Angels bullpen, 4.71 ERA, 1.43 WHIP have been terrible. There's Don McGo in the house. Thank you, Don McGo. Please share. Ricky Levine says Houston owns the Angels. Okay, so let's go over to baseball data here. Against Greinke, 298 with an 834 OPS. So Justin Upton hits him. But Justin Upton looks like a shadow of his former self. He's the only one. So if you take out Justin Upton, so you take his 42 at-bats out of the 114 sitting here, which leaves you with what? 72 at-bats. So 72 at-bats, and then you have 2 doubles. Sorry, I take that back. Then you have 4 doubles and 2 homers. 72 at-bats. I'm just not afraid of this Angels lineup at all. Patrick Sandoval, they're hitting 300 with 1.149 OPS against them. But it's not the big bats who are hitting him. I mean, it's, well, Jordan Alvarez, 2 for 5 with 2 homers. Kyle Tucker, 3 for 4 with a homer. Ross Pitts, what's your Twitter handle? I will follow you immediately. Okay, so let's move over to the market in this spot. Donald Still said Jared Walsh back in the line boosts him a bit. Yeah, it does a bit. But if Upton is the only guy who rakes here, this total at 9 at minus 112. So there's been a 3-cent move to the over. Houston opens up at minus 147. They're now minus 126. That's huge. A 21-cent move towards the Angels, which tells me that Patrick Sandoval is going to have a nice start. So let's move over to the cash and see why this move has happened. Just 2,219 tickets in. We have 74% of the tickets, 69% of cash on Houston. Then we have 43% of tickets and 86% of cash on the under, and no movement there. This is confusing. So there's reverse market movement on the Angels and sort of reverse market movement on the total. Okay, Ross, I got you. Real Deal Prime says under, this is the reason why I love talking it out, because if I was doing this over the last 3 years, I would already be on the under. But the market makes no sense to me. If the under had moved 15 cents, I'd move on it right now. And Robert Cherry says, don't forget Gambler's first glance is Angels plus 120. Great call, Robert Cherry. Thank you for bringing that up. I have that at the bottom, but I didn't have that in front of the game. All right. So I can't move on it. And I'm not going to. Brandon Cummings taking the Astros to be up 3+ runs at plus 230 in the plus 5. Wow. Okay. So now we get to 9:40 p.m. Eastern. This is a bet I did make. The over 8.5 at -120 in Padres Diamondbacks. And let's see what it is right now. Tell me it's gone up to 9. Yes, it has a Pinnacle. Only Pinnacle, though. Still 8.5 everywhere else. All right. The Padres opened up at -167. They're now -184, which means there's been a 17-cent move to the San Diego Padres. Let's break it down. Padres 66-51, 26-27 on the road at Diamondbacks 36-80, 22-35 at home. We're at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. The roof is closed. These pitchers just faced each other 5 days ago and threw gems. Absolute gems. These are not two consistent pitchers. Blake Snell has his best start of the year. Goes 7 innings, has 2 hits, 3 walks, 13 strikeouts, and a 2-0 win at home versus the Diamondbacks. We know what his splits are. At home, he's 4-1 with a 2.40 ERA, 181 opponent's batting average. On the road, 2-3, 7.36 ERA, 302 opponent's batting average. Eric Chang says, am I the only one who takes a vacation during this time of year? You know, I enjoy this very much, Eric. I love this. I love that we can focus on one sport for a little bit. It sort of feels like a vacation because things are going to get really intense here in a few weeks. Razor says Angels are 12-3 last 15 when their opponent scores 5 runs or more in their previous game. Astros are 1-4 last 5 meetings in LA. CT Bay says Diamondbacks first 5 take the plus money in an even matchup. Tuate Latte says San Diego first 5 -0.5. Mike M says second time around I like the over on this one. So Snell on the road, 7.36 ERA, 302 opponent's batting average. Going up against Madison Bumgarner, 6-7, 4.42 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, 91 2/3, 82 Ks, 22 walks, 13 home runs. His last start, 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 2-0 loss at the Padres. They went up against each other. At home, opponents hit 270 off of Madison Bumgarner. On the road, 210. Padres versus lefties last 30 days, 279, 777 OPS. Diamondbacks versus lefties, 253, 723 OPS. Padres bullpen last 30 days has been good. Not as good as they had been. 3.50 ERA, 1.39 WHIP, and they're taxed from yesterday. And Diamondbacks bullpen, 4.75 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. So Eric Jones says over 8.5, smash it. Pinnacle's already moved it to 9. But none of the others have. And I got -120. Let's see what Bet365 is doing with it right now. And look at that. Unbelievable. I bet this at -120. It's now -115 at Bet365. And yet Pinnacle's moved it to 9? Wow. All right, let's go to baseball data here. Against Snell, 167, 453 OPS. They're 7 for 42. Look, he has their number. They just saw him 5 days ago. Can they do better against them? And against Bumgarner, 225 with a 799 OPS. So 34 for 151, but 18 of those 34 hits are for extra bases, 8 doubles, 10 homers. Will Myers has 5 jacks against them. Machado has 3 jacks against them. So let's just take a look at the cash and see if it all correlates. I mean, like nothing. I could buy out, but 4,602 tickets in. 87% of the tickets. Oh no, shit! Sorry, that's the wrong one. 3,152 tickets in. 67% of the tickets and 68% of cash on the Padres. And then here we have 46% of cash on the under and tickets on the under, 69% cash on the under. Interesting. So big bets have come in on the under. So 54% of tickets on the over and just 31% of cash on the over. It makes me a little uncomfortable. All right. Zach Wilson says Padres offense so inconsistent. Don McGo coming in with his soccer action. Thank you for sharing that with us. James Derviglio says Blake is back, but hard to trust now, though. And over 17.5 for Logan Collins at plus 1,200. And Trayvon, I love Trayvon, what a great line. After I cash out on the over 8.5, I'm taking my family to Disneyland. I like that. And shout out to Don McGo. He hits huge parlays in soccer. Over 14.5, okay. CT Bay says Padres not the same without Tatis, absolutely vital to them. I agree. I still think we can get over this 8.5. All right, then we move on to 9:45 p.m. Eastern. We have 2 games left, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the CFL game tonight. Not the games on Saturday yet. I need to study them more. All right, we move on to Colorado Rockies at San Francisco Giants. The Rockies 51-64, 13-43 on the road at the Giants, 74-41, 38-17 at home. We're at Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. 62 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 10 miles per hour out to straightaway center. Austin Gomber going up against Anthony DeSclafani. So I wanted to bet this, but I wanted to talk it out with you guys before I do. This total opened up at 8 and went to 7.5. There's been a 2-cent move towards the Giants. So opened up at 8, went to 7.5. And then the first 5, has stuck at 4. So I just want to see what's happened with BetOnline and Pinnacle since they put this out. So let's just check BetOnline's first 5 here. So there's been a 5-cent move towards the under. At Pinnacle, they opened it at minus 110 to the over. It's at minus 108 to the over. Okay. I don't understand why this would move to the under. And I'll break it down for you. Oracle Park, San Francisco, California. 62 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 10 miles per hour to straightaway center. We know the wind swirls at Oracle, so that's not that big of a deal to me. That's a pitcher's ballpark. Then we have Austin Gomber, who has very nice numbers. 9-6, 3.79 ERA, 1.09 whip, 98 Ks, 97 in the third. In his last start, at home against the Marlins, he went 6 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 9 Ks. He is being lights out at home. 5-1, 1.70 ERA, 172 points batting average. On the road, he's terrible. Not terrible, but 4-5, 5.40 ERA, 244 points batting average. Eric Thomas, what's happening to my man? So here you have Eric Gomber, who's much worse on the road than he is at home, going up against DeSclafani, who's much worse at home than he is on the road. And he's coming off a bad start. DeSclafani, 10-5, 3.28 ERA, 1.07 whip, 126 in the third, 118, 33 walks, 16 home runs. His last start, he only makes it through 4 in the third, allows 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which are earned, 2 homers, 1 walk, 5 Ks, 11 innings, winning win at Arizona. On the road, he's 5-3, 2.80 ERA, 204 points batting average. At home, 5-2, 4.22 ERA, 242 points batting average. Zach Wilson says because Rockies don't score on the road. Yeah. Trey Doug in the house. Thanks for joining us. Rockies versus righties, 266, 799 OPS versus righties. Giants versus lefties, 236, 78 OPS. The Giants have not been hitting lefties over the last 30 days. Rockies bullpen last 30 days, 5.72 ERA, 1.43 whip. So Nutflush Allen says, you know my thoughts on this, Jimmy. And Nutflush Allen is referring to waiting for the Giants lineup to come out. He needs to see the Giants lineup. And there is the parlay for Logan Collins. A's minus 1.5, Giants minus 1.5, Dodgers minus 1.5, Padres over 10.5, Cubs game over 9.5, 5 Ks pays out 235. So, and then Mike M laughing at Nutflush Allen says, wait for San Francisco to go down and smash it. So, I don't understand why it's at 7.5. And I like the first 5 over as well. But I don't want to double up. Wow, James Derviglio says, my brother passed away from cancer in Philly. I asked him to give me a Bellinger home run versus Phillies, and he goes yard next pitch. Wow. I'm so sorry to hear about your brother, James. And that's tough. Very tough. Dealing with death. Everybody handles it differently. And we're thankful that you're here capping the card with us. And I'm sorry. And heart goes out to your family. And Nutflush on says, don't forget how many times the Padres used to face Mad Bum as a Giant. Look, I love the over. I love the over in that spot. But here, Nutflush, here, I like the over here. So let's see the baseball data here. Against Gomber, 250, 738 OPS. So not great. Against DeSclafani, 210, 560 OPS. So bad. Huh. Donald still says Gomber's away splits deceiving. He got lit up by San Francisco back in April. He's looked okay aside from that. All right, let's see where the cash lies. 4,791 tickets in. 85% of the cash, 73% of the tickets. Oh, sorry, I did that wrong. 85% of the tickets, 73% of cash on the Giants. Then we have 33% of tickets and 94% of the cash on the under. Thank you, WT. I guess I don't want to go up against this huge market move, I guess. Is that what I'm going to say? I mean, Disclafani looks vulnerable. And if Disclafani is vulnerable, then why wouldn't the over be in play? Giants bullpen being lights out last 30. I mean, why don't we let's see what the Rockies team total is. Maybe I can simplify it. But I mean, if in any total, if you're going over the total, you want the Giants offense to be involved, don't you? Let's see what the Giants team total is. Oh my God. 2.5 at -150? 2.5 at -150? They're not going to get 3 runs in this game? And Nutflash on says, do not bet Giants today until you see a confirmed lineup. Oh, Melvin. Ross saying Disclafani coming off an injury. Don still says Rockies first 5 hesitantly. Okay, Nutflash, I'll wait. This is a late game. I will send you a message. I'll wait. The over is what I would like to bet, though. But I will wait. All right, let's move on to 10:10 p.m. Eastern, the final game on the card. And Shlomi says, Jimmy, today San Francisco under the total. We get to 2 important events here. One being the Rusty Kuntz play of the day, and 2 being the Say play of the day. First, we'll start with all Rusty Kuntz. Rusty Kuntz play of the day is Robbie Ray to record the win at +102. Robbie Ray to record the win at +102 for our man, Turnsey. Rusty Kuntz play of the day. And we move from old Rusty to our guy, the Say Hey kid. Jose Say Hey play of the day. Jose 3-0 on the week, going for a week sweep when he needed so badly. So he came into this week down over 5 units on the season. He has to be in the black if he wants to shave his mustache and keep his job. He has to go 9-3 at a minimum over the last 12 bets, and he opens up 3-0. I'm extremely impressed with Jose. When Jose made the statement to us, when he said, I don't need to look for plus lines. I don't need that. And that's something, look, I get it. When you look at your record, you like seeing your VIG, your average line in the pluses. It's cool. But what's cooler is a positive ROI and win after win after win. And his last 2 bets have been the most juiced of the season, and they have both cashed, and they weren't over -130, and -135 is my limit, so they were well within betting. I am proud of my son, Jose. He's taking this shit seriously. Looks like he's coming to us live from a crack house. Jose, how are you?
I'm doing well. The Red Sox being shitty has been hurtful, but these bets have fueled me. They've given me the fire I needed. It was a little dicey last night. I got a little worried, but we still win, and it was still pretty easy.
You know, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed with your work. I'm very impressed that you're taking this very seriously. I'm impressed that you've gone on this run to try and shave your mustache while keeping your job. Morgan Spooner says, can you yell at Jose to help me deal with my terrible betting money management skills? Losing 6 units on Woodruff, leaving the third, still up on the weekend. But, yeah, sure I can.
Money management.
Jose, you son of a bitch! Do you have another winner for us right now? Because you're running hot, and I believe in you.
Thank you. I do. I absolutely do. I'm not even worried, Jim. I looked throughout the whole card, and this just seemed like the easiest thing in the world to me. I looked around. I tried. I was like, oh look, here's a plus 120. Nah, that's not for me anymore. That's not me right now. I've got to stick to the formula that works.
You are maturing in front of our very eyes. I'm very proud of you, your pompadour, your mustache, and your serious business. Let's get to work. Final game on the card. And look at the intensity, the fire in my son's eyes. Toronto Blue Jays, 62-52, 31-28 on the road at Seattle Mariners, 61-55, 35-24 at home. T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Those of you keeping a close eye on Jose's record must be proud of him. Now 25-27, down 2.4 units. His ROI down 4.62%. Average line plus 101. He's going for the weak sweep, a difficult thing to accomplish. Robbie Ray, Chris Flexen, and it's hot in Seattle. This is the hottest game of the year. Opening pitch 90 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 6 miles per hour in. Robbie Ray being very good this year. 9-5, 2.90 ERA, 1.07 WHIP, 130 in the third, 159 Ks, 35 walks, 23 home runs. Last start, 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks, no 1-0 win at home. First Boston, a 7-inning doubleheader. Going up against Flexen. 10-5, 3.81 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. Just 82 Ks in the 123rd. His last start at the Yankees was very impressive because he's been very bad on the road. 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, 7 Ks, and a 5-4 loss. It was better than I thought he'd do. At home, 6-4, 2.67 ERA, 240 opponent's batting average. On the road, 4-1, 5.44 ERA, 327 opponent's batting average. Jose, where does your focus lie? How are you getting paid today?
Well, Jim, as you know, the Blue Jays didn't really come out to play yesterday. The offense kind of had an off day, and an off day for them seemed to be 3 runs. Vladdy hasn't been playing well recently, but, I think it's time. I think it's time again that they come out and go off again. The last time I bet the Blue Jays, it was Teoscar Hernandez's grand slam in the 5th that really cemented my dub for, I think it was the first 5 team total over 2.5 that time. This time, I think the Blue Jays just go out there and beat the Mariners. First 5, -0.5 again. I've got this one at minus 122 currently on Pinnacle. Thank you, Gokster, for following me on this. I like team totals as well, but I just purely think that Robbie Ray goes out there again, because these two pitchers have faced each other before, goes out there again, gets a nice 6 innings of maybe, let's say, two at the max earned runs, but I think the Blue Jays offense comes to play against Flexen. They've had the offense against them. Everyone that you wanted to see has hits for him. Springer's had a home run off of him. Simeon's got a hit. Vladdy's got 2 hits. I think, like I said, I think he's going to break out eventually. You can't keep that man down for long. And let me tell you, I think he'll pop off. Maybe the change of scenery. They've been in Los Angeles. Now they go up to Seattle. You think 90 degrees is hot? It made me chuckle because I live in Texas and it's 100 degrees every single day here. So it sucks, but it's not that bad, Jim. I promise. 90 degrees, they'll be fine. I think the bats come out again. I think Flexen gets touched. So give me the Blue Jays first 5 -0.5.
All right, let's go. Blue Jays first 5. Team total over 2.5. And what was the juice associated?
Currently on Pinnacle, they're a minus 122.
Minus 122. TJ says, are you guys watching the same Flexing at home as I am? Are you watching the same Flexing at home? CT Bay says Flexing as a home dog is my lean. So let's break this down a little further. A couple things have come up, though. One, Michael Irvelina says the more Jose wins, the better he looks. Says keep the streak alive. Have you noticed the comments have been changing rapidly about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Jim. I still see some people like my guy DX Filer. Whenever I come on the screen, he's throwing up over there. But I love him to death, and I appreciate him to death.
You have won 3 straight, and winners is the most important thing on the show, and you've been very serious, and I like it. Robert Cherry says, Jose, do something with that hair, my guy. I love it. I love the pompadour off to one side. Says, I'll tell you, he wants a friendly rager, loser shaves head. Says he's had braids, he's grew his hair the past 2 years. What you say, I need the pompadour. We need the pompadour. The pompadour sells.
Sorry, I can't. I have put my hair up for many things. I've dyed my hair for the channel. Jimmy, I don't think there are many pictures of this, but my hair was blue for a really long time, and then it changed to a green. So you missed that.
I'm happy I missed that. Let's get back to baseball here. Jays versus righties, 262, 811 OPS. Mariners versus lefties last 30 days, 247, 739 OPS. So both those stats last 30 days. Jays bullpen has been improving, 3.74 ERA, 1.21 whip last 30 days. Mariners bullpen being lights out, 3.34 ERA, 1.13 whip. So we have the Rusty Kuntz play today on Robbie Ray to record the win. We have Jose on Blue Jays first 5, team total over 2.5 at -1.
Whoa, Jimmy, don't do me like that. I'm on the first 5 -0.5. Don't hurt me like that. Ghoster is on the team totals. I'm on Blue Jays first 5 -0.5. Right now, I put it down at -120 on the little banner down there, but it's at -122 on Pinnacle currently.
Okay,
and
thank you.
Also, Jimmy, the chat had just given me a great idea, or a recollection, I should say. I think they're right. Sunny Springs and Crystal Warren have said it. I think alcohol poisoning really did me well and flushed out all the bad juju for me. So I really think that helped.
Oh, I know it helped. Against Robbie Ray, these Mariners are hitting .319 with a .994 OPS. Does that concern you at all?
None. Absolutely none.
I'm
not scared, Jimmy.
Against Flexen, these Jays are hitting .364 with a 1.076 OPS. They're smashing them. Vladdy 2 for 2 with the double against them. Okay, so let's go over to the market. So we have Jays first 5 -0.5 for our guy Jose. And here we go. That first 5 for the Jays. BetOnline opens it at -164. There's been a 16-cent move on the first 5. Wow. Let's see what Pinnacle does. No, we can't get the Pinnacle history. Okay, so very interesting. Now we'll move over to full game and see what we are dealing with. Full game, money lines and totals. Then we'll look and see where the cash flows for this big game on the West Coast this evening. The total at 8.5 was juiced to the under. There's been a big move towards the over. Robbie Ray and the Jays open up at -173, an 8-cent move towards the Seattle Mariners. An 8-cent move towards the Seattle Mariners. Let's see if that correlates with the cash flow. 2,332 tickets in. Ooh, jeez. Look at this. This is wild. Wild. Love this shit. 42% of the tickets are on the Seattle Mariners. 76% of the cash on the Seattle Mariners. And the market.
European syndicates.
The market's still moving.
They're against me, Jim. They knew.
Yeah, they are. They're against you. Yeah, they want to get you back on the sauce. 69% of tickets on the over, and I don't have the cash numbers for this game for some reason.
Someone needs to change their YouTube name to European Syndicate, please.
CT Bays says, missed it earlier, but love Miami, Chicago over 7.5. CT Bays is now at 7. It's crazy what's going on with that game. Okay, here we go. Jose's Say Hey play of the day. We've seen the Taint sweep a week. We have seen the spreadsheet play today sweep a week. Jose, we've seen you win the first 3 games of a week and not seal the deal for the week sweep.
Yeah, that's me. That sounds a lot like me. Cannot seal the deal.
But now is your opportunity, and I believe in you.
Yeah, it's a new me. It's a new me. Like I said, that alcohol's in my system, out of my system. We made it through. I actually have another event where I have to consume alcohol this weekend, and I'm not looking forward to that at all.
That's good.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Get back on that drunken horse. Jose, I believe in you. Wipe that fucking smile off your face before I lose my shit. We need you to stay serious. Now we also need a close-up of that mustache.
Of course, no problem. You know what's bad about this? I cannot stop touching my mustache when I'm thinking. I just sit there and stroke my mustache all day. It's pretty annoying.
To do. And also, if you have the chin, I do that, and I don't even have chin hair. There it is, the mustache of glory.
Better than Mike Stanton's.
Say hey, play of the day. Blue Jays, first 5, -1/2 for the week sweep. God bless you, Jose. Thank you so much for joining us. There he is.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you. My mustache is better than Mike Stanton's, and I look forward to learning about the CFL.
Yes, and a lot of really nice things coming in about you. First, Red Girl saying because it looks like pubic hair. So a lot of really positive things coming in. And, yeah. There you go. Eric Rosas calls it cat whiskers. Donald still says it is quite glorious. And Turnsy said, I swept the first week I started recording. You did. You did sweep the first week. I remember that. Okay, there we go. That is our MLB card. Let's go over everything as I was pretty hesitant, and then we're going to talk about the CFL game tonight. 7:05 p.m. Eastern, Braves, Nationals. Do we now know who is starting for the Nationals? Please tell me we do. Is it Josiah Gray? Because now we have a number. Now we have a couple books out. Okay, we don't know. I still don't know who is pitching at this point. And Joe Yurkovich says, Jays Mariners under 9 -120. Play of the day. Play of the day. Morgan Spooner says, plot twist, Jose gets in the green or the black and keeps the mustache. The winning power is in the stash. And Ron Crawford sent me the whole spreadsheet list for today. Why don't we pull that up right now and go over Ron Crawford's spreadsheet here right now. Thank you for sharing that with me, Ron. And here we go. So we have the play of the day for Ron is Milwaukee. Fits 3 different criteria that he uses. And Atlanta Braves fit 2. The Blue Jays fit 2. The Dodgers and Cardinals are on 1. All 3. And when a team hits all 3 of Ron Crawford's criteria, they're 22-4. And that's the Milwaukee Brewers. Wow. Okay, so Reds, Phillies. Look, I wanted the first 5 under, but I wanted it at 4.5, and I'm not going to take it at 4 under any circumstances. And the more we broke it down, the less I liked it, to be honest with you. So no move for me there. Then I'm moving on the Brewers -1.5. That's in addition to my card. I wanted the over in Orioles Red Sox, but I was very confused by the move from 11 to 10.5, so I'm going to stay off of it. The Cubs Marlins was probably the most confusing game on the card. The fact that it went down to 7, Alzolay versus Luzardo threw me for a loop. The Indians, Tigers, seeing the pitchers for the second time. The market move towards the Indians. The very interesting stat from Ron Crawford, how teams under 500 favorites. What was it again, Ron? Was it because it's teams under 500 at home teams that are under 500 that are favorites? Is that it? Home teams under 500, and the Marlins fit that criteria, are have big winning numbers. I think I'm saying that right. Okay, let's get back to this here. My first bet was last night. It was on the under 9 at -125 in the Dodgers Mets. I beat that market move by a full run. That's a win in itself. I think that is a win. So I can just let go. If I lose that, whatever, I smash the market move. The A's Rangers threw me for a loop. The fact that I like the under, it goes from 8.5 and then comes back to 8. Or excuse me, it goes to 8 and then comes back to 8.5. Why would people be betting the over in this game? That took me off. The Cards first 5 -0.5. I mean, let's go back to the amount of cash in this spot again. We have 81% of the tickets, 72% of the cash on the Cards. Let's go to full game money lines and totals. With the Taint play of the day is the Cards first 5 -1/2 with Flaherty back. He's got spectacular numbers against the Royals. Seemed like the whole chat was on St. Louis. The 9-cent move doesn't really make sense. I thought it would be a bigger move. I'm going to have to sit with it. I'm going to have to sit with the Taint play today for a bit. It's just too cheap. It's too cheap. Now, it's not an arm injury he had. It's an oblique injury. And they're smashing lefties. It does add up to me. Why isn't everybody on the Cards, and why isn't there a bigger line for the Cards? And the fact that there isn't really, really makes me want to just not bet it. But Taint play today is Cardinals first 5 -1/2. I'm adding the under 9.5 in Tampa Bay Rays, Minnesota Twins. I'm off of Astros Angels. The market move I beat as well. Well, you know what? It's crazy because Pinnacle's moved this to 9, but when I went to bet 365, I could have got a better line on it, which makes no sense. I'm on the over 8.5 in Padres Diamondbacks. And look, it's still at -115, even though Pinnacle's moved it to 9. So that just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Rod Crawford says under 500 teams that are the favorite in August. Okay, thank you. Teams that are under 500 and they're the favorite in August are 27-8. No home road, nothing. Under 500 and the favorite, 27-8 in August. So the Indians fall under that. So do the Marlins. So I'm on the over 8.5 in Padres Diamondbacks. I'm interested in the over in Rockies San Francisco Giants. I'm not sure why it moved from 8 to 7.5. Our San Francisco Giants expert, our resident San Francisco Giants expert, Not Flush Allen, says wait. Wait for the San Francisco Giants lineup because, again, they're only hitting 236, 78 OPS versus lefties. But Gomber is much worse on the road than he is at home. And DeSclafani is much worse at home than he is on the road. We do not have a Dirty K prop today, Red Girl. There is no Dirty K prop in at this point. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yes, we will not be getting a Dirty K prop today. Not be getting a Dirty K prop. Okay, so then the Rusty Kuntz play today. Robbie Ray to record a win at +102. And Jose Seje play today is the Blue Jays first 5 at -0.5 at -122. Blue Jays first 5 -0.5 at -122. Okay, that is MLB action for you guys. Coming off a bad day, 1-4, but overall in the season, still been good. 248 wins, 213 losses, 53.8%, plus 9 units, 9 even. ROI plus 1.95%, average line -111. Okay, let's move on to my first action in CFL, and I'll keep this brief. We have a very interesting. I've been watching the games. We didn't have a year last year. I didn't want to jump in at this point hard. I wanted to watch a little bit. There was basically no exhibition season. So we have the Argos Bombers here. Argos Bombers, this is in Winnipeg. The total opened up at 47. It's now moving up. So that we see 47.5s on the board and 48s. We don't see that happening at Pinnacle, though. And that's not the market move that I expect at this point. Crystal Warren says, I just want to thank everyone again. Yesterday went 7 for 8. Best 2 days in a row, all MLB season. I know it's because I have you guys to compare my picks and talk me off ledges. Thank you for sharing that. We do work together. Logan Collins says, letting you know I have some insight in the Bills game tonight, and they're going to win. Trust me. Says that's all I can say from Logan Collins. Insight in the Bills game tonight. They're going to win. Trust me is all I can say. I like it. Okay, so Glenn Young is the new defensive coordinator for the Toronto Argonauts. And the Bombers head coach, Mike O'Shea, he's a defensive-minded coach, and he cares so much about the defense that he puts together. Mike O'Shea's former teammate is Glenn Young and colleague. So Glenn Young spent 4 seasons as the linebacker and defensive line coach before he was hired by the Argonauts. I think this is a very, very important point of reference in this game. This Argos team, Glenn Young has completely revamped this defense, and he's brought in a lot of veterans into this Argonauts defense. Bethel Thompson is coming off an excellent game when they came back and defeated the Stampeders. we saw what kind of team the Stampeders are as they played the line, so I don't want to take too much into that. I do expect this to be a very defensive game. Oh, Jose says he's betting the Bills heavy right now. With that being said, I want the under in this game, but I especially want the first half under. I expect O'Shea and Glenn Young to really, really care about the defensive side of the ball. And it's much easier to put a game plan together for the first half. Second half becomes adjustments. What are the adjustments that you're going to make? Can you exploit the other team's plan? Glenn Young is going to have tricks up his sleeve defensively for O'Shea and vice versa. There will be a strict plan on how to defend early and make no mistakes and win the field possession battle. So with that being said, I'm going to move on a first half under as my first CFL bet of the year. And there's a 24 at Bet365, and that's a key number. And I know that this move is going up right now. The total is going up. I don't expect that to continue. I expect under cash to come in on this spot. It's a 48 right now and a 24 for the first half. And again, that 24 to 23.5 is so key. It's so key. Ron Crawford says under 500 teams favored at home 14-7, on the road 14-1. Wow, that's an MLB. Wow, that's wild, Ron Crawford. Thank you for sharing that information. So my first CFL bet of the year, and I wanted to talk it out and see if there was any interest from other cappers in the chat. But my first CFL bet of the year will be the first half under in Toronto at Winnipeg this evening, and it is solely predicated on Glenn Young wanting to show Mike O'Shea what he learned from him and then try and surprise him. I think that the defense will be so scripted in the first half, and it will be of utmost importance to shine. Turnsey took the full game under. I like the full game under. I just prefer the first half under at this point. Donald Still says, Chargers going to smash the no-starters Rams tomorrow. I'll be there first of many at SoFi. Beautiful, Donald Still. I have tickets. I will see you at a game at SoFi over the holidays, Christmas holidays. I got tickets to a game, so I will be there with you. There you have it. Thank you guys so much. There is our week locked and loaded. Jose going for the sweep of the week. There you have it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We have no show without the great cappers in the chat. Let's go over some extra. Tron Hopkins has the Give Me My Props play of the day in the Summer League. Let's just go over some of the other looks here that we had from the great cappers in the chat. Again, Fap win, Australian racing today. Catherine, race 5, the 2 Yulong. He's very heavy on him. Again, that's in Catherine in Australia. Race 5, the 2 Yulong. The TJ play of the day is the Dodgers first 5 minus a half. The Pamper Pop play of the day is Philadelphia Phillies first 5 minus a half. Soupy Panty, soup of the day, soup du jour is Marlins money line. Marlins money line. The Pimp Slap play of the day is Cincinnati Reds. Robert Cherry likes the Braves first 5 minus a half and Morton over 5.5 Ks. The blue ball plays of the day from Jeffrey Blue is the Cardinals team total over 4.5. Peanut is is going heads up against Jose with his Mariners first 5 minus a half, Miami first 5, Atlanta first 5, Detroit first 5, and the over first 5 in the Houston game. Gamblers first glance from Razor Sharp picks is Angels money line plus 120. And Guillermo Zertucci gave us Delmar race 6. The 9 box of chocolates at 3-1. There we go. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. Let's have a big weekend. Let's have Jose sweep the week. And thank you for everything that you do for the show. Paco Healy, Crystal Warren, Lance LaRose, J-Dub, Donald Still, Real Deal Prime, Logan Collins, Brian Watson, Billy Pilgrim, C.T. Bays, Razor Sharp Picks, Morgan Spooner, Davidless, Tron Hopkins, Turnsey, Ron Crawford, Jimmy Gomez, Puzzler, All you guys, thank you so much for all of your hard work and insight. Huge day today here. We have a big 4 p.m. show with Babano and CMAC, closing line show, and we have some huge announcements to make as well. Huge announcements for our huge party in November and our NFL schedule. Thank you guys so much for watching, but most importantly, Leche, hey, los bookmakers!